Hi there, welcome friends, and welcome to LA Fit, and a small group here today, but to those of you from the LA Fit crowd that haven't been able to make it for a while, and from America's Floor Sores, and Yoga Wellbeing, and Renew Wellness, some of you I haven't seen for quite a while. Here's a new one for you today. Welcome everybody, LA Fit. If you don't have a tie or strap handy, grab one before you get going. We are in this week of Halloween, you know, obviously. I'm always kind of a little bit humored, if nothing else, by how Halloween has become kind of this really heralded new holiday, meaning that people really get into it lately. I mean, I remember we'd have pumpkins and stuff out, you know, back as I was growing up, and my goodness, my neighbors across the street have a cemetery in their yard now. And down on Livingston, you probably noticed it, Scott, in your various travels down that way. But there's like, I wonder, where do these people keep all this stuff? They got zombies walking across the yard. I mean, these are full, and there's like half a dozen of them. And what do they do with these things? They store them in some closet and somebody comes, oh! during the year. So, anyway, all of those are, you know, it's kind of fun, but, you know, in other traditions, especially, let's say, the indigenous Mexican community with El Dia de los Muertos, you know, they really celebrate dying, not because we want to celebrate, we're all excited about dying, but it's just to say, let's not be afraid of it. We're all heading that way. I mean, from the moment you were born, you're dying. You're heading that direction. And so it's good not to be afraid of it, but on the other hand, what we've kind of done in, you know, is we've made it this ghoulish thing. It's always blood, it's, you know, brain-eating things, you know? It's not like, you know, Dia de los Muertos, they have the little mariachi bands and, you know, there's skeletons playing music and they're dressed up, and you know, this is kind of the more hideous side. And well, there you go. Rather than going that direction with it, I thought, let's celebrate the life that we do have right now, huh? The stuff that's going on in you. You know, sometimes we just take it so for granted until we're injured or we have got a pandemic and we have to, you know, change all our habits. You know, you just forget about this wonderful gift that our body is, and that's what I'd like us to focus on here today. So as we begin with the breath, just to invite you to start with a sense of, or not with a sense, but with an awareness of what your breath is doing for you. So there's an ebb and a flow that's very natural to your breathing right now. Take that breath down deep. Let it fill you up. Exhale it out. The breath that's coming in right now, filling up your lungs. While that is happening, the heart is pumping blood over into those lungs. Little capillaries there are going to pick up the oxygen that the breath you just took in is supplying. Then the blood's getting pumped back to the heart. You're exhaling. You inhale it. The breath and the circulatory system are connected, but they're not on that same ebb and flow. And now that heart's pumping the blood. As you continue to breathe and continue to supply more oxygen to the body, that heart is pumping the blood out to even your furthest extremities, out to the tips of your fingers and toes. And then that blood is circulating through the arteries and then going to make its way back through the body, through the veins, working its way back. And on your exhalations, you're just releasing other toxins or other unnecessary aspects of the body, heading on up. And then meanwhile, you've got all that digestive system working on down there. It's constantly doing its job. And I'm going to invite you to just stretch those legs out. Set your bottom down there. Push the butt a little bit forward. Let's lay our bodies down onto the mat, but keep your knees up. And take the hands and rest your hands right on your belly. The hands resting on the belly. Even give yourself a little gentle massage as you continue to breathe. And don't make any judgments. Let's not be thinking, oh Lord, that's not as tight as it should be, or that's got too much extra this and that. Just be grateful that you've got this body, this life. Continue to breathe into it. Can you feel the belly rise when you're still kind of working the hands on the belly? Let that breath come down deep, not just into the chest. Then slip the hands over to the rib cage. Base of the palms are on the ribs. Fingertips are into the softness of the belly, pointing towards your navel. Clench the core just a little bit. Take a nice deep inhalation there. Feel the rib cage lift out from underneath your palms of your hands a little bit. And as you exhale, gentle pressure. Keep the hands just right where they are, but gentle pressure onto the belly. Exhaling that out. Letting you be a little more mindful of that process. Inhale. Good deep inhalation. Little clench of the core. Gives you that sensation of the ribs rising out a little bit more. And then exhale, soften and press in. On your next inhalation, lifting that up, a little extra rise. As you exhale, now press down, let the hands slide towards one another, letting the fingers interlace and intersect there. And then on the next inhalation, just pull those hands up. And then as you exhale, press the arms with the palms facing up towards the sky. Lift it on up. Release the bound fingers there and then start to drop the arms alongside the head, reaching back behind you. Stretch right on out through the fingertips. As you continue to stretch out through the top half of the body, then let the legs slide back down the mat and press out through the heels. Good lengthening stretch through the body, from the heels all the way up through the crown of your head, reaching out to the fingertips, and then exhale, soften and release. And allow the body to just be supple. Feet splay a bit, elbows are soft. Keeping the right side of your body soft, push out through the left heel and reach out through the left fingertips. Continuing to lengthen. Feel that stretch from the heel up through the long bones, past the hip, through the side body, out through the fingertips, and exhale, release and relax. Breathe some gratitude into that body that does so much for you. Then we'll press out through the right heel, keeping the left side soft. Press through the right heel, reach out through the right fingertips. Pushing out then that skeletal structure of your body, the bones pressing out. And then attach to those bones, the muscles, tendons, ligaments. Well, actually the ligaments, not the tendons. And reaching out through the heel, reaching out through the fingertips. And exhale, release and relax, soften that. Let the body just be nice and supple again. And then we'll inhale the feet on over to the right, keeping your bottom on the mat. Try to keep that anchor down. And then as you get the feet over as far as they're going to go, then take the upper body over to the right. Try to keep the shoulder blades on the mat. So if you need to kind of press into your heels and lift your bottom up a little bit, or just not roll onto that shoulder and hip, a little attention to that. Breathe into the left rib cage. And next inhalation, release and walk the heels back. Exhaling, take the upper body back, and again just Lay there in a little bit of softness for a moment. And then we'll walk the feet over to the left. Heels walking over. Again, try not to roll onto the left hip. And then coil the upper body over to the left as well. Stretching open that right side of the body and breathing into it. Inhale there, one more breath. And then exhaling, release that, and then we'll begin to walk the feet back to center. Upper body back to center. Let's pull the arms down alongside the body then. Pressing out through the left, or the right heel rather. Let's pull that left leg up. Left knee towards your chest, hands are on the shin or the knee or in the fold of the leg behind the knee, and pull that in towards you as you press out through the right heel. Inhaling next, release the pressure on the left leg. Exhale, tuck it back in. And then with that left foot hanging there, let's rotate that foot at the angle, working that lowest limb on the left side, circling the foot, squeezing the toes and the foot as you circle it, and then bring it back the other direction about 10 circles. Once you complete those circles, go ahead and just release the leg, stretch it right back down, press out through that left heel, and as you push through the left heel, and let that activate that right leg up towards your chest, hands on the knee or the shin or the fold of the leg behind the knee. And squeeze it on down. Inhale, release the pressure on the leg. And exhale, tuck it in. Push out to the extended right heel as you continue to pull that knee in. And then let's work the right foot. At the ankle, swivel it. Squeeze the toes, flex the foot. And then back the other direction, 10 circles. Once you complete those circles, we'll pull the left knee back up again, tuck both knees in towards your chest, and squeeze both legs in. All that kind of working the limbs. Now let's go to the inner body, and then inhale the forehead, the head off the mat, draw it up towards the knees. So you get a little activation of the core, some of the inner structures, all that work that it does, doing all of the digestive work for us. Now, holding that up, we're going to continue to work it a bit. Let's take the arms with an inhalation. Hands are right outside the feet. Reach the hands outside the feet, maybe even underneath if you can. Then when you exhale, with your fingers on the soles of your feet, press the knees towards your head even more. Then inhale the arms out to the outside. So now you got to hold that there together. Exhale right back behind you. It gets a little bit more challenging back there. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way forward alongside the feet again. Grab a hold of the base of the feet. Exhale, squeeze the knees and head together even more. Inhale the arms back open again. You can drop the head, of course, if you need. This isn't a challenge round. And then exhale the arms back around behind you. Inhale the arms back forward again. Grab a hold of the soles of the feet. Exhale, squeeze that right back in. And then let's release it. Let the feet just drop right down onto the mat. Let the head come back if it isn't yet. And with your knees still up, bring the hands right alongside the body. Palms facing down. Tuck those heels in kind of close. Let's just start with a pelvic tilt. So what we're going to do, it's like a cat-cow on your back. So with your inhalation, tilt your pelvis towards your heels. That's going to lift your belly up. Tilting the pelvis towards the heels, belly lifts. There's like the cow. And then exhaling, draw the small of your back into the mat. That tilts the pelvis then towards your heart. Inhale, take the belly up, pelvis tilts towards the heels. Exhale, bring the small of your back, pressing it into the earth, tilting the pelvis towards the heart. And again, inhale. And exhale. Come back to kind of a neutral spot. Hands still alongside the body. Now we're going to work that into the bridge. Just lifting up this gift of a body. Inhale, lift the hips off the mat. Press them up nice and high. We want that breath to go deep. And then exhale, slowly lower. We want a nice, deep, slow, long inhalation and exhalation so we can enjoy the simplicity of this movement. Inhale, lift up the hips again. Press them up nice and high. Exhale, slowly lower the vertebrae onto the mat. Finally, the hips touch down at the end of that exhalation. And one, inhale the hips up. Exhale, slowly lower and back down. Let's add another layer to this. Inhale, lift up the hips. Now let's hold them up. Exhale, let's take the arms all the way up here and sweep them back behind you. Inhale, sweep the arms towards the heels. Exhale, pull them back behind you. Keeping the hips up still. Inhale, sweep the arms towards the heels. Exhale, take them back behind you. Inhale there, reach out, the hips are still up. Exhale, now just try to drop your bottom straight down so you get a little extra stretch there into the upper part of your body, chest and through the armpits. Then exhale, press the small of the back down like we did in that pelvic tilt. Now the core is tight. Inhale, lift up the hips again. Hold it there, arms still extended back behind you. Reach on out. On the next exhalation, slowly sweep the hands forward. And then slowly lower the spine back down onto the mat as the arms descend alongside the body. Float the feet off the mat, draw the knees back towards you. You could give it a gentle little press if you'd like, or maybe you'd like to give it more than that. Or just keep your hands on the shin or the knees. And now for that little bit of work that the back was doing for you, let's counter it with a little gratitude here. Circling the knees. Guide the knees with your hands in circles. Half a dozen or so in one direction and then back the other way. And when you complete those, you can drop the feet right back down onto the mat. If you could reach over and grab your tie or strap there, hopefully that's handy to you. And then take the left knee and pull it back towards your chest again. Take your tie or strap and wrap it around the foot, right there about at the ball of the foot. Give the tie a little twist, kind of lock it in. And then extend the left leg right out alongside the right leg. And you can kind of push through the toes and the heel, back and forth, working that ankle. And then begin to lift the leg up, pulling that left leg up high. It doesn't have to, the knee might have a little bend in it, might not get all the way up. And as you pull that left leg up, let the right leg slide back down the mat and press out through the right heel as you pull the left leg up a little higher. Holding on to your strap then with just your left hand, let that right arm fall out to the side. Inhaling here, as you exhale, let the left leg start to fall to the left, holding onto the strap with your left hand. Feeling that hip and groin open up. Your gaze can roll over to the right. The leg doesn't have to get to the earth. You've got a hold of it. Let it descend as far as feels safe and comfortable for your hip and groin. Once you've got it out there and it's kind of leveled out to that place that it's going to go, maybe a little extra tug on the strap sometimes can feel good too. Inhale, let's draw the leg up high again. And then once it is, switch hands. Grab a hold of the tie or strap with your right hand. Let the left hand now fall out to the side. Inhale there, and as you exhale, take the left leg over to the right, cross the body, and let your gaze roll over to the left to help anchor that left shoulder blade down, which is inevitably going to come up. You want to try to keep it down to facilitate the twist a little more. Feel this work into that hip. Maybe again, a little extra tug on the strap if you feel like you want a little more work through the hamstring. Inhale, guide the leg back up to center. Release the tie or strap, bend the leg at the knee, sink it back towards your chest. One more nice Apanasana squeeze there. And then go ahead and drop that left foot back down onto the mat. We'll inhale the right leg up towards us. Wrap the tie or strap around that. And then exhaling, let it rise right alongside that left leg. About a 45-degree angle. Go ahead and press through the toes and the heel back and forth a few times. And then as you're ready, we'll lift that right leg up to the sky. Let the left leg slide down the mat. And then the left arm rather, can fall out to the side and holding on to the strap with just your right leg. Push up through the extended right heel, but also push out through the extended left heel, going down the mat. Inhale here as you exhale. Let the right leg drift over to the right. Slowly, just kind of feeling how the body takes that on. Again, there can be a little bend in the knee if you need. Let the gaze roll over to the left. A little extra tug on that strap might be beneficial if that's what your body needs and wants. Inhale that leg back up to center. Switch hands. Exhale the leg over the body to the left. Gaze rolls over to the right. Feel how that right shoulder blade kind of gets pulled with the weight of the leg descending to the left. So try to anchor the right shoulder blade down. Maybe again, a little extra tug. Being mindful of how your body is able to adjust to the stretch. Inhale the leg back up to center. We'll release the tie or strap there, just set it beside you, and then bend the right leg at the knee, draw it back in. Go ahead and pull the left one right back up with it now. Full Apanasana, both knees tucked in. Once again, lift the head off the mat, tuck the head up towards the knees, and squeeze it all together. You might want to cross the one foot over the other then, slip the hands underneath behind the knees onto the thighs. See if it's all right with your back. You can roll up. If not, roll over to your side and just push yourself up. If you do it through a spinal rock, you're just thrusting the feet forward and roll back and forth. I'm going to invite you to come up into a squat position. So at some point here, kind of uncross the feet. And then on that last one, just push your hands behind you and roll right on up onto the toes and the balls of your feet. All right. And we'll inhale, start to press the heels down and slowly lift the bottom up. Let the head just release and relax. Arms, neck, shoulders. Give in. Knees can have a soft bend, don't have to be hyperextended here. And then inhale, let's stretch the left leg back behind us. As you exhale, follow it right up with the right, so you come into a plank position. And now we did all that nice warming up work. Feel the strength of your body. You can drop the knees here. That doesn't mean there's a weakness. You just need a little extra assistance. So if the knees are down, you want to keep a straight line though, from knees to hip to shoulder to crown of head. And you can still have a nice active core here. If the knees are elevated, don't let the hips drop down and take all that extra weight into the shoulders. Keep the hips up. Holding the strength, holding your body with strength. Good deep inhalation here now. And as you exhale, let's lift the hips right on up to the sky. And come into a downward facing dog. But of course, first one, it's always nice to kind of pedal the feet here and get that final stretch down the backs of the legs here. So press one heel into the earth and soften the opposite knee. Rotating that back and forth. And let's inhale onto the toes and the balls of the feet, feeling the weight shift forward. See how your body receives that. Then exhale, press the heels back down, lifting the energy, your body up into the hips, kind of spilling down the backs of the legs, ears tucked in between the shoulders, biceps. And then go ahead and soften the knees and just drop them right down onto the mat. Uncurl the toes, slip the hands back underneath your shoulders. And we just come into a nice tabletop position. We're going to go through a cat-cow, but of course, because it is this Halloween week, maybe we'll allow it to be a fat cat and a scaredy cat. So your fat cat is going to be, we're going to tilt that pelvis up, the belly's going to drop down, and then the gaze can rise up. And then exhaling, tilt the pelvis down, arch the back up like that cat on the fence, and lift the back up, chin to the chest. Inhale, back to fat cat. Exhale into scaredy cat. Back to neutral spine. Press out through the left heel into a tiger stretch. We'll keep that feline theme going here too. Exhale, bow the head, draw the knee underneath and through. Pressing it all together. Inhale, push out through the left heel again, back to your tiger stretch. But this time, exhaling, take the left foot across the right leg outside the mat, plant the toes outside, push into the toes, push back through that heel, and turn your right ear and shoulder towards one another. Looking back at the foot in a tiger twist. Inhale, lift up the foot, guide it back behind you, and then swing it all the way around. You can bend the knee as you need. But swing it all the way around now to the left side and way up front. Now ideally here, you might start with it along, kind of in line with the hands, but maybe you can inch that foot up a little bit so that the foot is actually ahead of your hands. And now let's go to a tangled cat. Draw your right hand over towards your right hand over towards your left knee or shin. And maybe you can start to walk it down towards the ankle. Maybe towards the foot, even get to the toes. It's all going to be what your body allows. If you're doing okay with that and think, well, this is kind of fun, I'd like a little bit more, then reach back with your left hand and see if you can grab a hold of the thigh or the right knee. Into a tangled cat. Feel your bottom kind of push back. That'll take that left hamstring in deeper yet. All right, release that. Bring the hands back underneath your shoulders. And then let's very gingerly, carefully slip that leg back behind you. Come right back into your tiger stretch. So the toes are pointing down, pushing back to the heels. And now curl the toes on the right foot. Now I'm going to invite you to go to a three-legged dog, but don't feel like you've got to do that. You can drop that back left foot down onto the mat, go to a plank, a down dog, or press into the right foot. Send that knee off the mat and rise right up into a three-legged dog. Lifting up higher there, inhale up. On the exhalation, let's sweep that left foot forward to the front of the mat. Check your alignment. Front knee is over the ankle or behind it. Do a nice low lunge here. And then if you've got blocks, they can be on opposite side of this foot or just one underneath this right hand. And let's circle that left arm up to the sky. Twisting through in this low runner's lunge. A nice line we're seeking here. Line of energy from the hand pressing into the earth, rising up to the sky. Through the shoulders. Inhale there, press down, reach up. Exhale, swing the left hand back down to the earth. And now with that hand underneath its shoulder, just outside the left foot, circle the right arm up to the sky. Now, if you were to get those arms in alignment in a straight line, it really forces you to open up a little bit more on this side. You can turn the gaze to the upper right hand. And then circle that right arm back behind you. And again, you can drop the back knee to the mat here if you prefer. We're going to go right up into a crescent lunge. Scoop both hands off the earth and slowly rise up into a crescent lunge. If the back knee is up and the foot is forward, then we really press back through that heel and let the hips sink down. Now your body's got to work on a little balance. Drop the arms out to the outside, and let's take that twist in, right over here to the left side. Maybe turn the gaze down that left arm. Inhale back to center, and exhale it over to the right. Inhale back to center. Hands can come back to the mat. Once again, you can just slide this front foot back into plank, then down dog, or maybe you feel like a little sassy here this morning, and you can slide that right or left leg right back underneath you, come right back up into your three-legged dog. Press down into the right heel, stay anchored, and then exhale. Slip that left foot back down onto the mat. Kind of negotiate the distribution of your weight. Come back to your down dog. Inhale, rock the body forward, plane it back out into a plank pose. And then exhale, drop knees, chin and chest, and let the body kind of swivel all the way through to cobra. Feel that nice rhythm of knees dropping down, then the chin and chest. And lowering back down, curling the toes, pressing the hips back into a puppy dog. Take a moment there to just press back, lengthen through the spine by pushing back. Then energetically think of reaching out through the crown. Inhale next, lift the knees off the mat, come back to your downward facing dog. Pedal the feet if you need, shake out the head if you like. Push forward on the toes, feel the weight shift into the front of the body. Strength of your body up there. Exhale, balance it out, then push the energy up into the hips, settle the heels down. Even if the knees got a little bend or the heels are a little lifted, it's okay. Soften the knees, drop them back down onto the mat. Slip those hands back underneath the shoulders, uncurl the toes, and let's come back to a couple more fat cats and scaredy cats. Inhale, the tailbone lifts, belly drops, gaze rises up. Exhale, into a little scaredy cat there. Press into the tops of the feet, the base of the palms. And one, inhale. And exhale. Back to neutral spine. Press out through the right heel. Lengthen out through that leg. Toes are pointed down. Exhale, bow the head and draw the knee and head towards one another. Inhale, press back through the right heel. Exhale, take it over the left leg. Plant the toes outside the mat on the left side. Push back through the heel. Extend down the leg. And work to the hips. Turn the left ear and shoulder towards one another. Looking back at the right foot. Lifting that foot up off the mat again. Rotate it back behind you. Then continue to swing it all the way up front to the outside of your mat, way up front, alongside the hands, or maybe even further up ahead. And we'll go into our tangled cat by reaching over with the left hand over onto that shin. Maybe work it down to the ankle or the foot or the toes. Just take it again. Being aware, each time you slip down a little lower, probably feel it a little bit more in that hamstring in the right leg, so be careful. And maybe reach back with the right hand to grab the left thigh or knee. Let the hips kind of sink back just a little bit more. Release the hands, bring them back underneath your shoulders. And then we'll very gingerly here slide that right leg back around behind you. Take a moment to just to align it, like that hip's gotta fit right into its socket properly. Push back through the extended heel then. Curl the toes on the left foot. Again, you don't have to go to a three-legged dog. Find an alternative if you'd like. Or press that left heel into the earth. Lift up the right leg right into three-legged dog. Nice high inhalation there. Exhale, sweep the right foot forward to the front of the mat. Front knee is over the ankle or behind it. Back knee can drop to the mat if you prefer. Doesn't have to stay up. Left hand anchored right underneath your shoulder. Let's inhale the right arm rather, up to the sky. Find that straight line as best you can. It may not work for you that way. They might have a little injury or some other scar tissue locked up in that shoulder doesn't allow you to pull it all the way back. Just continue to work on it. Gratitude and kindness. Inhale there, pressing down, reaching up. Gaze can be up with that upper hand. And then exhale, let's take the right hand back down to the mat, just outside the right foot. Inhale, scoop up the left arm. Rotating the torso over to the left now. Trying to draw. Okay? Draw that left arm up to the sky. Find a straight line as best you can. Inhale there. Now scoop the left arm back behind you. And as it pulls forward, the knee can again drop to the mat here and go to a knee down crescent. Or if you're able to, keep the knee up and rise right up into your crescent lunge. Beautiful. Push back through that extended back leg. Let the hips sink down. Nice. Drop the arms out to the outside. Exhale. Let's twist the body over to the right. Maybe gaze down that right hand. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, rotate over to the left. Looking down the left arm. Inhale, back to center. Hands back down onto the mat. Toes are curled on that back foot. Maybe if you got the knee could, if it's down, lift it up here, and then we'll slide that right leg back up and underneath us here up into three-legged dog. Inhale, lift up, press down with the left heel, lift up with the right leg. Exhale, send that foot back down onto the mat. Come back to your down dog. Make whatever adjustments you need there in hands, feet. Inhale, rock the body forward, then into plank. Feel that strength, the energy of your body holding that. And let's let a nice swivel of energy. We're going to start right at the base. Inhaling here, the knees drop down. And as you exhale, sink the heart and chest towards the earth. Then toes uncurl, hips drop, and it swivels up into cobra. Curl the toes behind you. Actually, let's keep the toes uncurled this time. And just push the hips right on back to an extended child's pose. Take a moment to even slide the hands back and come into a full child's pose and drop the forehead down onto the mat. You might need to just tell yourself, how are my shoulders doing here? Can you just release and relax that? Let your shoulders fall away. Sometimes we just get so caught up in the energy and the strength of our practice, we forget those places in the practice that allow us just to be soft. Let the shoulders open up, fall to the side there, all inside on the back. And then we'll slip the hands back out in front again. Rocking the hips forward enough to curl the toes behind you and press the hips back again into puppy dog. And then lift the knees off on an inhalation. And as you exhale, settle the heels down, back to downward facing dog. Inhale, let's step the left foot forward to the front of the mat. And as you exhale, follow it up with the right. Then come into a standing forward fold. Let the knees be soft here if you prefer. Body hanging down, ragdoll. And then go ahead and swing the arms softly to the right, to the left, back and forth. Letting that also kind of tease the lower back, softening even further. Maybe feel the arms dropping closer, or you started with the fingertips, maybe you're down to the knuckles dragging. Or maybe you were 4 inches away from the earth and now you're 3. And let's pause that. Fingers onto the shins, right there, the ankles, with the fingertips pressing in. Inhale, rise up to a neutral spine. Sweep the fingers now to the back side onto the calves, a little pressure, and exhale down, a little massage. Just gratitude for these parts of our bodies. Inhale, rise up, and sweep it to the back side, exhale down. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, sweep it back down. And now let's go right into a breath of joy. It's 3-part breath, 3 parts of an inhalation. Take the arms out in front on the first third. Open the arms up as you lift the body up on the second third. Draw the arms all the way to the top. And then exhale, release. Let the bodies fall forward. Inhale up. Inhale out. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, release. Inhale up. Inhale out. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, release. We're going to just do that one more time and stop at the top. Inhale up. Inhale out. Inhale all the way up. Exhale over to the right. Now maybe grab the left wrist with your right hand for a little extra stretch along that right side of the body. Inhale back to center. And exhale it over to the left, and maybe the left hand grabs the right wrist now for a little extra stretch along the right side of the body. Breathe into the right rib cage. Inhale back to center, palms together and drop them right into the heart. Just take your hands, we'll just do a little what's called a Kali Mudra. If you interlace your fingers, but keep the index fingers pointing up, and then rotate the left thumb over the right thumb. And then draw that right down to your navel, with the thumb kind of tucked onto the navel. And breathe into that. Breathe. You feel your belly press out against the thumb. Thumb touching in. A little healing gesture to the belly. And on the next exhalation, let's try to step the left foot back behind you. Turn the heel in, toes out. We're going to go for a warrior 1 here. Release the hands then, sweep the arms behind you. If you bend into the front knee, it's over the ankle or behind it. Going right for toes 2 and 3, and then raise both arms up and come up into warrior 1. Push back to the outer edge of that back foot, lengthen down that leg. Now we're going to go a little fancy move here from warrior 1. We're going to try to go right up and into eagle. Now you might need to just take this one step at a time, and maybe you take the arms alongside. So this left leg's going to come up and go over to the other side of the right leg, and the right arm's going to flip over the left arm. So we're just going to pull ourselves up. Right arm over the left, left leg over the right. Pull ourselves right up into that. And if you need to touch your toes down, find your balance, do that. Find a drishti. Inhale there, and as you exhale, maybe if you've got the balance of it, bend the knee and let the hips sink down. Inhale, let's rise up, and then take that left leg and swing it back behind you, step it in about the middle, and then rotate both feet so they're pointed towards the mirrored end of the hall here. Open up the heel, or turn the heels in, toes are out a bit. We're going to take the arms up, setting up for 5-star and goddess. Exhale, drop the hips straight down and come right into goddess. Inhale, rise back up. Exhale, drop it back down. Inhale, rise up. Now sweep the hands on the exhalation behind you like you're gonna hold a big beach ball, so we're not gonna interlace the fingers, but just kind of let the fingers touch. Keep the shoulders down the back, keep it soft. Like you're holding a big beach ball back there. Now go back to your goddess. Sink back in on an exhalation. Feel the hips open up, groin. And then pull those shoulders back together now, the shoulder blades. Feel an openness across the heart. Release and open right back up. Rotate the front right foot straight down the mat, and then push off of that left foot, and we'll stand right back up into place there, right in front of your mat. All right, back to it. Let's come back to our Kali Mudra here. Fingers now are going to be, so left thumb over the right, and then we're going to take that thumb right onto the belly above the navel. Little pressure there. Breathe into it. Good deep inhalation here. As you exhale, let's step the right leg back behind us. Heel is in, toes are out. Ideally, that back heel is in alignment with the front heel. Bend into the front knee. It's over the ankle or behind it. Release the hands. Swing them back alongside you here. Exhale. Sweep it up into Warrior One. Push back to the extended right leg. Down that leg to the outside edge of that heel. Feel the inner thigh kind of open up a little bit more. And we're going to pull up again into the eagle pose on this side. Right leg's going to flip over the left. Left arm's going to go over the right. Inhale, bring that right down, kind of setting up. Maybe you pick out a gristi there in front of you, and then step right up and into it. Toes could go down if you need. And then on an exhalation, maybe you bend the knees, sink down. If the toes are touching, fold forward rather than bending down. Inhale, lift back up. Take the right foot now and just set it right beside the left. Bring the sole or the inside edges of the feet together even. We'll unleash the arms and send them up on an inhalation. And now going into chair. Exhale, bottom drops back behind you. Arms extend out in front. Inhale, lift back up. This time on the exhalation, drop the arms to the side from the shoulders. Exhale, back to chair. The weight is in your bottom and in your heels. You should be able to look down and see the toes. Inhale, press it back up. This time, sweep the arms behind you. As you exhale, bring them all the way back. So now you got a lot of extra weight pulling you back. Toes are getting even lighter now, almost lifting off the mat. Then staying with it, inhale the arms back forward again. Exhale, pull them into the heart. Inhale, press into the feet and stand right on up. Exhale there. Inhale, lift the arms up to the sky. Press into the toes and the balls of the feet, and now send the energy into those. Lift the heels off the mat, coming into a palm tree. And then gently let that palm tree sway from side to side, and let it descend all the way down. And then once it touches down, back to kind of a squat here. Just pull your knees and drop your knees onto the mat. Now, I know this isn't going to work for everybody. If you've got a block, you may want to take that block and set it underneath your bum to help lift you up. Or if you've got some other kind of cushion or something, you can also, especially if you're at home, you can set a cushion here onto your calves and set your butt on that and lift you up just enough. As we come to a little bit of a thunderbolt position or a hero's position, and try to lift yourself upward. Sit up tall. Then if you drop the hands back behind you, fingers pointing away, and try to lift the hips off the heels and rise back up. On an inhalation, on the exhalation, you can even turn the gaze back down, kind of like you're looking straight down to the navel. Inhale, lift the hips up, let the head guide back in alignment with the neck and spine. Inhale, or exhale, drop it back down again. And one. Inhale, lift up the hips. Exhale, drop it back down. Walk the hands back, rise up off of the bum comes off of the heels. Now puts it into a high kneeling. Curl the toes behind you. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, sweep them around to the back side. Fingers are going to be on the, fingers are pointing down on the rise of your bottom, and the palms are on the sacrum in the small of the back. And lifting the gaze slightly upward. You can slip the hands off the back and just open up. Or if you'd like even more, you can try to reach back for a heel and then the other heel. Keep the hips pointed forward and come into a full camel's pose. And allow the chest and heart to open up fully. Good stretch of gratitude for this body. And then draw the chin towards the chest. Release the hands from the heels. Let the body hang down very simply. And then we'll draw the hands back underneath us. Push back the right foot. And then with the left, coming into a plank. Inhale here. And as you exhale, send the hips back up into down dog. Inhale, press up high, settle the heels in. Exhale, drop it in deeper yet. And then inhale that left foot forward to the front of the mat. Exhale, pull the right foot forward. Soften the knees, walk the hands back there behind you. And then drop your bottom to the mat. And then stretch the legs right on out. Hands alongside the body. Base of the palms outside the hips. Lift up through the crown of the head. Coming into staff pose. This whole structure of your body, the skeletal structure, the muscles, all of the activity that's going on. This is your life in the body. But then we've also got this amazing mind and spirit here. Energy of life. It's more than just your body. Feel all of that come together there in your staff pose and lift up through the crown of the head. Drawing the feet back up underneath you now. Toes are down. Hands can come to the heart in Jali Mudra. Inhale that left leg out in front and take the arms out to the outside. And then exhale, just pull it right back in. Settle it, hands together, feet down. Inhale, right leg out, arms open up. Exhale, settle it back in. Bring that right foot onto the heel. Inhale, lift out through the left leg. Exhale, bring it onto the heel of the left foot. Inhale the right foot out. Exhale, bring it back in. Inhale, lift up both feet, and then just find balance there right now. And if you don't feel comfortable with it or it's too much, just drop one foot or both feet. Work it the way that works for you. The more you keep the legs tucked in, tighter the body is, then it's a little more comforting. The more you take the legs out, the more challenging this becomes to the core. So you can lift maybe the lower part of the legs out. You can keep the upper part still tucked in. Arms again can extend out. Bring it back in. Maybe then you just keep going deeper. Open it up. Exhale it back in. Maybe take it even further into like a canoe here. Inhale the arms back behind you. Stretch the legs out. And now you're really taxing all of that system. Slowly lower that canoe down into the water. And once things start to settle down, arms can fall to the side, heels can touch down, and the body can say, ah, into that nice release. Your body is nestled in and ready for Shavasana, but maybe it's telling you, and if you're good and attentive to your body, it's letting you know that, there's just that one spot yet, needs a little more attention, maybe a little windshield wipering of the legs, or a happy baby, or a figure four, or maybe you've just had enough and you're ready to let those legs rest down the mat, arms alongside the body, and bring yourself up, or relaxing yourself into that last pose of Shavasana. poet Mary Oliver in a long poem called The Fourth Sign of the Zodiac had some lovely lines that just kind of appeal to this sense of gratitude for our body. I've just pulled certain lines together, reconfigured things a little bit. She is out there in that spirit world, so she can't, well, she better come back and haunt me about it, I guess, but I'm hopeful that she'll be okay with my rearranging of some of her lines. I know you never intended to be in this world, but you're in it all the same. So why not get started immediately? I mean, belonging to it. There is so much to admire, to weep over, to write music or poems about, so much for which to be grateful. Bless the fingers, for they are as darting as fire. Bless the thumb, for when working it has a godly grip. Bless touching. Bless the feet, for their knuckles and their modesty, the feet that take you to and fro. Bless the little hairs of the body, for they are softer than grass. Bless the hips, for they are cunning beyond all other machinery. Bless the shoulders, for they are a strength and a shelter. Bless the mouth, for it is the describer. Bless the tongue, the marvel of taste and the maker of words. Bless the eyes, for they are the gifts of the angels, the tellers of truth. Bless the listening ears, discerners of that truth. Bless the spine, for it is the whole story. You could live 100 years. It's happened. Or not. I am speaking from the fortunate platform of many years, none of which I think I ever wasted. Do you need a prod? Do you need a little darkness to get you going? Let me be urgent as a knife then, and remind you of gratitude, so single of purpose, and this body singing the purpose. Invite you to wiggle fingers and toes. Notice that little invitation. Wiggle fingers and toes, how the mind hears that, tells that to the body. The body, those little gentle movements. But as the fingers and toes move, that naturally the hands and the feet awaken and they say yes to life too. And that moves into the arms and the legs. All of those limbs saying yes to the movement, pooling them all right there in the center of your being where there's always so much activity going on in the torso. And when you're ready, sliding the legs up the mat, the knees pointing towards the sky. Again, listening to what the heart and the mind tells you. Maybe it wants to just be still. Maybe the legs want to sway a bit. And then eventually shifting the hips a little bit over to the left. Let the body roll over onto its right side in the comfort of a fetal position. And then pressing out to the top leg. Pushing off the top hand. Bring your body up to a seated position. Your gaze might be lowered, your eyes even closed. And then sitting there with dignity, with gratitude for this body, this life that you have, and all of the turmoil of a pandemic and the hysteria of politics and everything else that's going on, the changing of a season. And here you are, alive, gift in you. And then pulling those hands together, let's pull that life together with gratitude and gently, vigorously rub the palms of your hands together. And then we'll place the palms of our hands over our lower gaze or closed eyes. Just to sometimes take some time to be attentive to this body. We know that in our living we are moving towards death, but right now we are alive. Be grateful for that. Be aware of what this body does for you when you ask things of it. So as you open up your eyes and lower those hands down, know that your hands hold this life right here, right there within your own hands, and you can do with it as you wish. But why don't you do something good for it, as you did today by coming in here and sharing your good energy and light with me and others in this practice today. The light in me is grateful for the light of life that you bring, and I bow to it. Namaste. And it's a little dark here, but to all of you LA Fit friends and Peace friends and Floor friends and Yoga Wellbeing and Renew Center, hey, thanks for your light too. We'll put some light on. I think there's a few of us in here that may come by, Dottie or who's the other person? Desi. I haven't seen Desi forever. Come on up and say hello if you like. They enjoy that.
Hi, Dottie.